yeah. The eye of the tiger, baby. Give it up. Yeah, that's it.
Long week. A couple interviews, a couple commercials. This is kind of the last thing to do. It's a photo shoot for Esquire magazine, cover shoot.
Sexy.
Can I have one of these?
Honey, come look at these pictures over here.
Yeah, I don't know about the beefcake, the shirtless thing, all the women looking at my man.
Good morning, Macon. This is Terry Taylor, and you're listening to FM 99 WDEN. Beautiful day here in downtown Macon, where the world's eyes will be on today's start of the Tour de Georgia. Cycling fever has erupted across the state as young and old await the arrival of five-time Tour de France champion Lance Armstrong.
Well, I know that a lot of people have been looking forward to this event for a long time for one reason. How many times do you get to see Lance Armstrong race in the United States?
I don't think I have the condition. I suspect my rivals will have done some races here recently that would be better suited to win.
You're a hero.
I have to be honest and say that all the work that I do on a daily basis is focused on the Tour de France, and when I think about rivals, I think about rivals in the Tour. But it would be nice to win. It's always nice to win.
Well, there are no easy days in the Tour de Georgia. We're now on to the final day, though. Well, here he is. Lance Armstrong continues to wear out his right hand while his legs continue to get stronger.
I think that basically what we saw this week was a Tour de France boiled down into 1 week here in Georgia. It's been absolute pandemonium everywhere Lance goes.
Have you found the crowds to be as impassioned as anywhere in the world here in Georgia?
Oh man, I mean, I've never had such a hard time getting out of the bus as I do here. So, and yesterday's climb, I mean, it was people all over the climb, painting the roads, and loud, obnoxious. It was great.
Lance was the show, and he lived up to it.
And as long as I race and they have events like that in the States, I'm more than happy to do them. I think they're equal to, if not better than racing in Europe. I would love to have really a series of races like the Tour of Georgia. I mean, a lot more time in the States, which for me is excellent. I get to stay home, spend time with my kids, and still do my job.
Any comment on college's bus driving skills?
I'll just refer you to the back of the bus. Just go ahead and take a look back there.
So, we backed up in a very tight space with the help of the OLN cameraman, and at that point we think we're kind of safe. And we start to pull out and we're taking a right. And I heard the noise of the stop sign, and I turned to my co-pilot, Mark Higgins, and said, "What was that back there?" And he said, "I think it's just something that fell back there." So we went about another 5 feet, and we heard this loud scraping noise. The unbelievable thing, the stop sign was at the corner of something in College Street. We're gonna be okay. We can just get this. Nobody's looking right now.
We are doing a story for the Today Show and for Dateline about Lance gearing up for what has never been accomplished before, winning 6.
Hey, you.
Hey.
How come I'm always talking to you when you're tired after a race?
Today?
Yeah.
You should see it today.
Well, yeah, because you were going uphill, I heard.
But this was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-oh.
You know, I'm curious about whether he has the capacity to consider losing.
time to do the interview.
It's a climb we know well. It's a famous climb we do almost every year. This is the first time in the history that we've time trialed up it, where every guy goes alone. This will be special.
We're in LA. We're at the ranch, and we've got to make a special setup for Lance that allows him to be aerodynamic, but then open up and ride. We have
risers to control the height and tilt of the
height of elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to dial in the bike for Alpe d'Huez. It's not a complicated setup. I mean, they're basically just clip-ons with some pads.
Looks like a bazillion combinations. So all this is being custom fabricated and dropped on the ground right here. Did you bring a crescent wrench or anything?
A crescent wrench?
We're a little bit tool light, but we're working on some prototypes that allow him his climbing position, which you never use in a time trial bike, and then an aero position, which you never use in a mountain bike. What we're working on here is maybe having two variety of bars for the Alpe d'Huez stage of the Tour de France. So give Lance a couple of options as to what's going to be light and fast.
We're just trying to dial that in with aerodynamics and weight and position and comfort and power.
Yeah, there's two options still for you, and they're both pretty interesting. We kind of played around with a lot. Hands on top here. You're higher up by about 3 or 4 centimeters here than your time trial position, your road position, right?
But on the climb, you'll be here.
Yeah, you might just take an in-between position.
Yeah.
These things would just get bonded on it, and
oh, like right here?
Yeah, this is wrong, but is that too much of a flat?
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to have a lot of thickness.
Too much bulk.
Where your hand's going to go in the non-aero time? Where will you be climbing?
I'm climbing more and more out here.
One more.
Yeah.
How much do you think is going to be standing?
Alpe d'Huez a lot. It's steep.
Half?
Explosive. Yeah, at least half. Yeah, half.
And then you're on the hoods.
And then you're on hoods. Not on the drops.
You've been climbing well, choking back a little bit, but I think that's turned into a pretty important climbing position. Yeah. And these may get in the way of that.
Now this position is actually going to surprise you. You get low, real low, and you can't be where you would be on your TT bike because your bar is there. Right. So you get lower than your TT bike, and you actually, we put some discrete little padding underneath here, but you can really, the ability to lever up is pretty interesting. Ooh.
For trying, we thought it was better just to separate the two.
I don't think you need two aero positions. I think you're going to choose one or the other.
But I think this is good for climbing.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you can't climb on.
So you're thinking you may spend time out here?
You may.
I think you climb on that.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we want to do with you tomorrow morning is make you try both. Okay. And this one's very funky, so it's very typical. Yeah, but it's worth trying. All right. Then this guy, and then we'll make an A or B decision, on top or below.
Okay.
Cool.